Betch has a step downfield, and he'll go for the assist as well. Gudeman from one layout to another. The AlleyCats find a way to get it done.
High-powered point there.
AlleyCats back in front.
From his brother.
Going for Havey. Havey's able to get there. Betch dives, and he got it. Oh, my goodness, Nicholas Betch. Could he have his man? Yes, he does.
On a beautiful Saturday evening in the Circle City, the epicenter of sports in the month of May, the Indianapolis 500. The Pacers are in the playoffs. We got one more, and that's the Indianapolis AlleyCats playing host to the Minnesota Wind Chill today on the UFA. A pleasant evening, everyone. My name is John Natale, and I'm beside the great Kelsey Sparks, and we have got a great one for you today. It's the home match for the AlleyCats. It's match number 2 for the defending Minnesota Wind Chill. And Kelsey, I'll just be first and honest with you. My first Frisbee match, I am so excited. I've done football, basketball, soccer, wrestling, tiddlywinks, canasta, you name it, I've called it. But something new and exciting for me, but I've got one of the best in the business next beside me, so why don't you take it away and tell us what we're dealing with today.
Well, thank you. And you're in for a treat today. Ultimate Frisbee is, well, my favorite sport in the world. But as you mentioned, we have the defending UFA champions here visiting us in Indianapolis today with the Minnesota Wind Chill. And the road to 2025 starts right now at Kuntz Stadium in Indianapolis.
The AlleyCats coming off a loss to Pittsburgh last week. Wind Chill coming off a win, so 1-0-0-1. But what we anticipate is going to be, well, let's just call it high octane because it is the month of May. The Indianapolis 500's going. We're going to get those engines rolling. We're going to come off the green flag, and we're going to be going full speed here in a couple minutes.
Indianapolis knows how to do sports, that's for sure. We got to catch up with both teams earlier. Looks like we've got the Minnesota Wind Chill getting ready to take the field.
Minnesota Wind Chill, a long distance from the Twin Cities, but give them the credit for making the sacrifice to come down here. Flew in last night, maybe a little jet lag for them, even though changing time zones. I don't know if that's going to play a big factor, Kelsey, but it may. Losing an hour of sleep.
And for the AlleyCats, want to take a second to talk about Captain Seth Gudeman. He is going to be a player to watch today for Indianapolis, a team that, as we know, has lost a large core of their roster. And so Seth Gudeman has taken on the role of being a mentor to some of the younger guys, big leader there. And Seth is coming off a 5-goal, 2-assist, 2-block, 475-yard game last week against Pittsburgh. Look for him to build on that today against Minnesota. We chatted with him earlier. He shared that he was feeling confident and he was getting his guys hyped up and ready to go.
The Peoria, Illinois native, also home of MLB legend and Hall of Famer Jim Thome. Him and Gudeman. I don't know if they know each other, the Thomes and the Gudemans, but we will find out. But we've got one on also on the Wind Chill. That's also a heck of a player. And who's that, Kelsey?
Brian Vanutka, number 3, is our player to highlight for the Wind Chill. Long-time Wind Chill player, and I don't know if there is another household name in Minnesota Ultimate Frisbee quite like Bevon, as he's affectionately known. He was their 2019 All-Star, and even at 35 years old, he shows no signs of slowing down, John.
As we get ready, AlleyCats opening offense is going to be Betch, Wall, Pappas, Heiser, Gudeman, Dinez, and Michael Ames.
Michael Ames returning to the team for the first time since 2021. Longtime AlleyCat prior to that. And they were really excited to pick him up this offseason.
Our opening pull, and we are underway here in the Circle City. That's Ames, 78. Kelsey, you and I had a chance to talk to Coach Drew Shepard prior to this one, and it's not that he feels inexperienced. It's just there's a lot of young talent on this team. Now he's just got to get his players to believe that they can come out here and take on the defending champions.
Yeah, Coach Shepard shared that he really believes in his guys. He said that they're really good, but he's not sure that all of them believe that they're good yet. These guys have big shoes to fill. I mean, notably, the AlleyCats have lost Cameron Brock, Travis Carpenter, Levi Jacobs, Rick Gross. I could keep going. Big shoes to fill, but Seth Gudeman put it well earlier. He said, you know, there was once upon a time, Travis Carpenter was the young kid on the AlleyCats. Once upon a time, Keenan Blue was the new guy. So he shared that with some of the younger guys earlier as some motivation.
Opportunity here. Pappas into the end zone, deflected. Good defense there from the wind chill.
Looks like Ames was looking for a call, but not going to get it. So the wind chill take over with their first break chance of the day.
Our head referee, Frank Murphy, also on the field is Justin Abbott, Matthew Gregerson, and Paul Amato on the sidelines. And wind chill moving fast. That's Bergmeyer. Right in the middle, a double team. And into the end zone, back of it, that's first point. Give the assist to Bergmeyer. James Pollard.
Welcome James Pollard with his first goal as a member of the Wind Chill. They were really excited to pick him up this offseason. He spent 6 years with the Philadelphia Phoenix, and he just makes this Wind Chill team even better, which is scary for the rest of the league considering they are defending UFA champions. Matter of fact, Cameron Lacey, number 28, was saying that he feels they were the best defensive team in the league last year, and they just got a whole lot better for 2025.
Cameron Lacey, surprising considering he was first team all defense last year. Cameron Lacey also one of 3 players on this wind chill team on the U24 U.S. national team, along with his partner Justin Burnett. And we're back the other way. Rolls into the end zone, and the AlleyCats will try to get on the offensive on a beautiful Saturday night at Coons Field in downtown Indianapolis.
Got a different line here than the initial O-line that came out for point number 1. AlleyCats have changed up their offensive look for 2025.
Good, it looked like a fly pattern. Manning to Reggie Wayne, couldn't complete it.
Jack Havey is a fast man, but that was out of reach for him. Wind Chill with their second break opportunity. This is a team that was top 3 in break percentage last year, 2024.
Now, Kelsey, help me out on this. If I'm not mistaken, that would be considered a huck on that last pass. Am I close?
A long pass is a huck, yes.
And there's another point, as we mentioned that, right on cue. Minnesota up 2-0 early, and we're just about 2.5 minutes into this one.
AlleyCats are going to have to establish some confidence on offense. They know they're up against the defending UFA champions. And, hey, the Wind Chill, they're all about defense. A lot of our conversation with Coach Feldman down there centered around defense. I asked him, what are you going to tell your team before they take the field? And he said, well, if we come out on defense, which they did, he said, I'm going to tell them to get down on the pool and set presence. Take the Frisbee away. It's our Frisbee. That's what he said.
Kelsey, you've been doing this a long time. You're very apt at the game itself. So if you're Coach Drew Shepard right now, what are you telling your team? Just 2.5 minutes, and it seems that the Wind Chill have just had their way so far, and it's very early in this first quarter.
If I'm Coach Shepard, I'm trying to establish some confidence for my guys. So I'm telling them to take a breath, play our game. Coach Shepard shared with us that some of their keys on offense is to be steady, being precise in their routes, in the cutter space, and that they need to take the first open look. Last week in Pittsburgh, they struggled a little bit with some tunnel vision, trying to shoot it to some longtime teammates, friends downfield that maybe wasn't the best look. So, yeah, if I'm Coach Shepard, I'm telling them, play our game, take the first open look, just try to establish some confidence early before this gets out of hand.
Let's see if the AlleyCats can't generate some offense here early in the first quarter. Already down 2-0 to the defending champion Minnesota Wind Chill. And there's a block there, and it's going to be the Wind Chill back on the offensive.
That's the characteristic Minnesota defense we're used to. second in blocks for 2024.
And Kelsey, just something I'm noticing, again, my first Frisbee is the precision and just the patience that the wind chill have on the offensive side, and just wide open in the end zone. That's their 3rd point.
Winchell doing a great job making use of the opportunities they've been generating on defense. 3 break chances, 3 breaks. Fantastic offense by the Minnesota D-line thus far. And it looks like our AlleyCats are taking a timeout. Going to talk this one over.
Give that goal to Greg Cousins. Interesting fact about Greg, his dad, a very renowned football player, a Razorback down in Arkansas. So the athleticism runs in the family. Looked like he ran a good pattern, maybe got a few pointers from Pops on that route to find himself in the back of the end zone for the wind chill. And we are just under 4 minutes into this, and wind chill have jumped out to a 3-0 lead. But glad to have you with us on this beautiful Saturday evening in downtown Indianapolis, Indiana.
I like the timeout call here by Coach Drew Shepard on the AlleyCats. Really wise to reset his guys, remind them of some of those keys to the game that we talked about earlier. They need to be more precise on those routes and on their throws. Coach Shepard was telling us earlier that sometimes the offensive handlers kind of don't want to put the disc to somebody if they have a defender close to them, but in the UFA, those windows are going to be tight, and you have to trust your teammates and just put it out where the defender can't get to it. Trust your teammate to make the play, come away with that disc.
And Kelsey, something that's very almost deja vu-like is what happened last week at Pittsburgh. They got down real early against Pittsburgh, and this is what he mentioned. This is almost a replica of what happened, but it's the growth throughout this. What adjustments are being made in that huddle, do you think, right now?
Right now, I think they're resetting the confidence. Looks like we are getting back to the O-line that we saw to start with the addition of Seth Gudeman, so putting some more veteran presence on this line. Probably going to see Michael Ames, number 78, picking up the disc and just trying to take the short passes, take what they're given, take the first open look. Last week in Pittsburgh, the AlleyCats started slow as well, like you were sharing. They were broken 7 times in the first 3 quarters, but they won the 4th quarter. So Coach Shepard says that they have something to build on there.
So for the 3rd time, the AlleyCats will receive it. High floater, cuts back into the middle. And the AlleyCats will go to work. That's Nick Betch. And this is Trey Dinez. There's Ames, as Kelsey has mentioned quite a bit. They have to use a lot of number 78.
AlleyCats definitely happy to have Ames back for the first time since 2021.
And the defensive pressure just causing all sorts of trouble for the AlleyCats, but they're over midfield, and here we go. What can Betch do with it? Looking for help.
And Bergmeyer is going to call the foul on himself. Good spirit there. AlleyCats will get to pick it up and run the end zone offense.
So a chance for the AlleyCats here coming up on 7 minutes left in the first quarter. Down 3-0, but a chance, real good chance to get one back here. Here's Betch. On the double team, Ames had to reach for it, couldn't get it. That'll be a turnover, and here come the wind chill.
With 3 handlers back like that, you got to find a way to reset.
Back of the end zone, too easy. That's 4, and Noah Hansen from a very prestigious club up in the Minnesota Twin Cities area. The Carlton, they call him the Cut, was second on this team in blocks last year behind Brandon Mattis, who unfortunately is out with an injury, couldn't start the season for the wind chill, but I was able to talk to Brandon and mention that his rehab's going well, plans to get back out on the field before the end of the season. But you can see why already in the first 5 minutes of why the Wind Chill are the defending champions.
And the fourth break of the game, fourth break in a row, goes to number 4, Noah Hansen. Yeah, like you were saying, John, Wind Chill are rolling right now. You can tell what made them the champions for 2024. And with the additions, namely of Pollard and Burnett, they have just gotten even better. Speaking of Pollard, he has the pull there.
AlleyCats just looking for anything to generate offense. But it's that tenacious defense of the Chill, usually 2 bodies around each black jersey, making it tough for the AlleyCats to even get to the center line.
We've got the close brothers we're handling there together for a second, Ben and Joel.
And just not being able to find a seam, but right there was Nicholas Lochran, and then knocked away, a turnover. So another opportunity for the AlleyCats, but the defense from the Wind Chill comes through once again.
AlleyCats were starting to feel a little too confident getting close to that goal line there. Made a mistake, just can't let that happen. Looks like we got a timeout from the Wind Chill. Probably looking to see Coach Ben Feldman swap out his line here. Maybe get his O-line a point, since it's been all defense so far for Minnesota.
And Kelsey, again, under 6 minutes. Now this one averaging close to a goal a minute for the Wind Chill they are. But nonetheless, just an exciting time for the AlleyCats here in Indianapolis. You have so many prestigious sporting events happening here over the course of the next few years. The NCAA championship is coming here in 2026. The U.S. Olympic trials, which was held at Lucas Oil, one of the most fascinating put-togethers and takedowns in the history of sports. The city has received so much recognition for that, putting a full-size Olympic pool into the field of Lucas Oil Stadium. The Big Ten championships, the Indianapolis 500, the Brickyard later in July. But right now, the UFA is starting to make a dent, and these AlleyCats are going to be the ones that are going to bring it home here in the Circle City.
We've got a D-line out for the AlleyCats now. CJ Kanar and Jason Kemp on the mark.
And just before the midline, that's Brian Vinoka, the captain, our player to watch and player to talk about in our pregame. And once again, just flawless movement from the Wind Chill. Looking to go up 5-0. It's about 15 yards outside the goal line. Now real close and quick combination. Paul Krennick to William Brandt, and that's 5.
Wind Chill have completed 100% of their passes thus far today. No turnovers to speak of from the Wind Chill. And the AlleyCats are going to need to find an answer soon before this one gets ugly.
And I guess we've approached that goal per minute, Kelsey, early in this one, as it's a 5-0 advantage for the Minnesota Wind Chill. You're defending UFA champions. Playing here to the host, Indianapolis AlleyCats. Game 2 for each club. AlleyCats coming off a loss at Pittsburgh. Wind Chill got their opening victory. And my mistake. Wind Chill in their season debut here in Indianapolis. But the way they're playing, the way they're scoring, they could score right now to manufacture 2 games.
AlleyCats offense looks a lot different this year, but we'll talk about that next time they've got the disc.
Back of the end zone, and good defense there.
Seth Gudeman stepping up to give his team another chance at this hold.
Betch with a huck downfield. There it is. The completion just in front of the end zone. Can they get a point? And we've got one. Seth Gudeman on the defensive end goes the whole length of the field, puts the first point on the board for the AlleyCats in the hometown.
And that's why Seth was our player to watch for Indy tonight. He does a great job instilling confidence in his teammates, and when they needed a guy to make a play, Seth was there, getting the D and the score, the bookends, if you will, as many an ultimate call it, when you're responsible for both the defensive play and the score. Nice bookends for Seth Gudeman, and giving the AlleyCats a little bit of life.
And folks, if I remain quiet, it's just because I'm adding to my list of terminology from the great Kelsey Sparks on what I'm supposed to know and what I'm not supposed to know. But these terms are flowing in, so I'll have my thesaurus by the end of the match.
Ultimate is a unique sport for sure. A lot of terminology for the viewer to learn.
And how will the wind chill respond? They've been almost flawless so far, but the last play by Gudeman, maybe that strikes some life.
Good switching downfield on defense from the AlleyCats, and this is our first true look at an AlleyCats D-line tonight. Coach Shepard said that he wants his D-lines to treat every point with end-of-quarter intensity. They need to leave all their energy out on the field.
On a deep huck in back of the end zone. Matthew Rader. And a very interesting story about Matthew Rader. Has taken some time off, but he is one who is very familiar with the end zone. Back in 17, he holds the wind-chilled record for goals in a season with 60. And you have to go back 8 years for that. Matthew Rader now on the board for the wind chill, make it 6-1. Just like that, after the goal by the AlleyCats, maybe gaining them some momentum, they put themselves back up 5.
So after a short break for the AlleyCats O-line, they are right back on the field. Minnesota is making the AlleyCats work on offense tonight, that's for sure. Putting a lot of miles on the legs of the O-line. Notably missing tonight, Ben Landry, playing in Beach Nationals in Virginia. He would likely be a handler on this offensive set, so AlleyCats playing without him. And Jack Gall, another notable person missing today. Carson Chamberlain also out, Noah Wall.
Now pass, half field. Just outside, an opportunity, and there's a point. So good offense and precision from the AlleyCats there. Give that goal to Nick Pappas from Evanston, Illinois.
AlleyCats are happy to have Pappas. It's the pickup from the Chicago Union. And he gets on the board for the Cats.
The land of Lincoln providing the offense for the AlleyCats so far, with both Gudeman and Pappas getting goals so far.
AlleyCats gonna need to generate some breaks on defense to get back into this one.
Kelsey, a point when we talked to Coach Drew Shepard is that even with the 6 goals and still the 4-point differential, it was, as you mentioned, your keys to victory, the building. Treat every goal as the end of a quarter goal. This is what happened against Pittsburgh, but you can see that after that initial 4-0 onslaught, that the AlleyCats have kind of settled down on the offensive end, more precision on their passes, looking a lot better, at least on the offensive side.
Maybe the AlleyCats are just trying to take after the Indiana Pacers and start slow and give the crowd an exciting comeback finish.
But you're talking about games 1 and 2, correct?
Yeah,
not yesterday.
No, I was at that game yesterday, and it was rough.
I will say this on this broadcast. I am from Cleveland, Ohio. So I will stay moot on the point for this evening. And another score. Matthew Rader, number 2.
There's Raider again. We mentioned him earlier. And he saved you from being insulted by me for being a Cavs fan, so.
We're having a great time here at Coon Stadium in downtown Indianapolis. It's hard because everybody in the booth with me this evening, die-hard Indiana Pacers fans, give them a lot of credit. Up 2-1, taking the first 2 home games in Cleveland.
It's hard not to love the hometown teams in Indy. So much going for the region right now. I know we mentioned so much of it earlier.
And it's, if you're unfamiliar with what happens in Indianapolis, is there's not many people that are due to the Indianapolis 500. It is not just race day when this city comes alive. It is a full month of activities, of partying, of celebration for the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500, which will take place on May 25th.
AlleyCats O-line working again. As I was going to say earlier, the O-line has a different look for Indianapolis this year. Last year they played a lot of the almost hex style offense, little give and goes flow offense. This year, more of a return to a more traditional stack offense, but it's still supposed to be fast and instinctional.
Appreciate everybody joining us on watchufa.tv, where you can catch all UFA action throughout the season, whether it's a Minnesota Wind Chill or the Indianapolis AlleyCats. They'll be there for every game. Again, that's watchufa.tv.
Lots of movement in the handler space from Betch and Ames.
This is Ames now, looking for help. Cole Heiser. And good patience here from the AlleyCats. There's Betch. He seems to be the orchestrator in that back line. The hammer to Pappas. There it is.
Despite the shaky start for the AlleyCats, they've been trading blows with the Wind Chill for the last few minutes here. Good momentum to build on for Indianapolis.
And you're right, Kelsey. It is a start. Is that they're now trading goals. Now they just have to find that defensive stop to get them closer with this 4-point disadvantage with 1:26 left in this first quarter.
AlleyCats have yet to break the Wind Chill today, so this line here is hoping to do it for the first time. Kaiden Young is going to pull.
Matt, you probably don't have any glare on your viewfinder, dude.
This is Kaiden Young from Mason, Ohio. Maybe if anybody from the Ohio area, just north of Cincinnati, home of Kings Island. Also where they hold tennis tournaments for the UTA. Beautiful facility up there in Mason. And also the Big East Championship in baseball is held in Mason, Ohio. And here's the Wind Chill. This is Josh Klain with a huck. And what a grab! You couldn't have put that any better. Sports Center, look out. You may have a top 10 there. Ryan Vanotka.
There's Bevon getting up and bringing the energy to the Wind Chill sideline. That's why he's the captain, and he was really excited to be on the O-line again this year. He shared in an interview in the offseason on Live with Lep, the interview with Evan Lepler, that he was hoping to be back on the O-line and hoping Coach Feldman would put him there.
Josh Klain on the assist. A player that has sure seen a lot of fields of play in UFA. Over 100 games played is Josh Klain.
Just over a minute to go in this first quarter.
The largest lead has been 5. That's where we stand now, 8-3.
Clock's going to start when Gudeman picks up the disc, and here we go.
There's Ames with it. Right at the midline. He bloated trouble. Able to get it to Betch. And a block. That was Justin Burnett. We mentioned second team defense last year, the transfer from Atlanta. Member of that U24 USA national team.
That's the 4th block so far for the wind chill.
And the wind chill back at it, looking to get a goal. Final 20 seconds. The largest lead has been 5, 6 would be the highest. And Van de Mortel, double hands there.
We'll have to wait to see who gets this stat for that one.
There were 4 hands in the air. They were both from wind chill players, came down with the disc. It was Tristan Van de Mortel, the team captain. That was Burnett who was back there.
Winchell made quick use of that break opportunity and bring it to our largest lead of the day.
With 7 seconds.
Look for a pull play here from Indianapolis. They've got time for a quick centering pass, but then it's off to the races. And this AlleyCats O-line has a lot of speed on it. Makes sense since they've got to go the whole length in 7 seconds. Here we go.
Clock starts on a touch, a little bobble in the end zone. They're going to have to move 3 seconds. Lofted in the air. There's the final zeros. And grabbed. Great completion down the field, but time ran out. And that'll do it for the end of the first quarter. The wind chill coming to Indianapolis, put a 9 spot on the board. AlleyCats got 3. We'll see what they can do in the second half. What adjustments will be made in the second quarter? Kelsey Sparks, John Natale on WatchUFA.tv coming back.
It's a normal day until the unthinkable.
Oh no!
The water heater has sprung a massive leak. But you're not worried. You have a direct line to Walt Waterman. Step aside, folks. We got this.
Thanks, Walt.
It's what we do. For all levels of residential plumbing repairs and service, call or text Winters Plumbing. We're called Winters Plumbing, but we serve every season.
Throw like a pro with a new Pro Ultimate Frisbee. Created with input from the sport's premier passers, the Pro Frisbee is specially designed to fly through the wind and maintain its edge. Experience the official Frisbee of the UFA and get yours at shopufa.com today.
In the huddle in the Minnesota wind chill with a 6-goal advantage in the first 12 minutes of play on WatchUFA.tv, the Circle City, Indianapolis, Indiana. Indianapolis AlleyCats playing host of the current champions, a defending champion, Minnesota wind chill on a beautiful Saturday evening. The crossroads of America, the Circle City.
Speed City. Speed
As
City.
it is in May. I mentioned it several times at the Indianapolis 500 to 109th running coming up in the end of the month. But you can see a lot of speed in this one so far, mostly from the wind chill. But Kelsey, we have seen some sparks, and no, no pun intended there, from the AlleyCats on their offensive pressure. They've been able to string together a few passes and get the 3 goals, both from the Illinois natives, both Nick Pappas and the captain Seth Gudeman, who we highlighted earlier. But it's not so much that we've seen that they can do offense, but just no defense. You got to get those stops, and unfortunately, the AlleyCats have not been able to do that yet.
Yeah, it starts with this offensive line, though. The offensive line needs to get the holds to give the defensive line a chance to take the field. Plenty to build on here for the AlleyCats. I know we've mentioned before, this is a very young team. I mean, lost 7, 8 of their core players over the offseason, so rebuilding year for the AlleyCats, but Coach Shepard thinks that they can take some W's sooner than people think.
Winchell start with it in the second quarter. Up 9-3, it's the largest advantage at 6 that it's been all game. And it could be 7, but good play there. But look at that.
Heroic effort from Joel Close, but just didn't get the bounce he wanted. The Winchell get the score despite that layout D attempt. Gabe Yacht was there to pull it in.
Gabe Yacht, and something very interesting. So all teams at the Division I level usually have a sport like Frisbee as a club sport. However, what's unique about the University of Minnesota and the Gophers is that they're actually allowed to use the Gophers name. So it's the University of Minnesota Gophers for their Frisbee team up there, their club team. Very interesting fact from a Big Ten school. You don't see it often, but that's pretty cool. And on the pull. It's now 7, and that happened just under 30 seconds to start the second quarter.
Cats happy to have Trey Dines back in uniform as well. Missed some time with an injury a couple years ago.
Dines, a local product from Indianapolis, Marion County. And that's Burnett, who's been a menace all over the field. That's Bergmeyer. Right into the middle. And just as that was like Travis Kelce sitting down and Patrick Mahomes right there, just sit in the pocket and wait for it.
Burnett,
now it's 11-3.
Burnett with a block the last time he was on the field as well. Menace is a good way to put it. AlleyCats need to make sure to keep the disc away from him. And the Winchell are just making it look easy right now.
Give that goal to the captain, Van de Mortel.
This AlleyCats offense only had a conversion rate of 50% last week against Pittsburgh. So that means that every time the offense had the disc, basically they scored 50% of the time. Their hold percentage was 67%, so they were able to get it back some of those times. But certainly the early story of the season for the AlleyCats is that they need to fix that offensive flow. Hold on to the disc, value it a bit more.
Kelsey, right now, it looks like the Winchell are just playing free and easy, but they're having fun out there. The AlleyCats just look like they're trying too hard to get back 8 goals in one spot. You cannot do that. You have to take it one at a time, get solid possessions, don't turn the disc over. But the Winchell just playing free and easy, and that's what finds them up 8 with just under 11 minutes to go in the second quarter. Good grab there. Keep that turnover. That's Benjamin Close, another Indy native.
Looks like Ben thought about putting the huck downfield to his brother Joel, but decided to reset instead.
Off the deflection, and Hansen comes up with it. There's Bergmeyer. He's been an orchestrator of the offense a few times. Number 17, James Pollard, has the goal, the transfer from Philly for the Winchell. End zone opportunity, and once again, too easy. Greg Cousins, once again. Cousins, 12-3 with 9:37 left.
All smiles for the Minnesota wind chill right now, and you can see none bigger right now than Greg Cousins. Wind chill making it look easy thus far. Our reigning UFA champions are really taking it to Indianapolis right now.
AlleyCats. And Kel, I just want to attack your brain because clearly right now we can't go down and talk to Drew Shepard. I'm not sure if we would get the most pleasant response if we came down right now. But you, as the experienced analyst and just knowing this game like the back of your hand, what can you be telling your team at this point? You're down 9-3, have shown no ability to stop the offense of the wind chill. You're struggling with only the 3 goals. What can you tell your team at this moment?
I don't even think there's a deep philosophical answer right now. I think it's just throws and catches. I mean, AlleyCats are beating themselves. They're not throwing to hands. They have put a lot of discs too floaty up into the air. Speaking of,
good attempt, but couldn't come down with it.
Throws and catches, throws and catches.
At the end of the day, Kelsey, it's fun. Oh, good interception there.
Nick Betch with the Superman
and
D.
Look at that. A beautiful effort from Nick Betch. Finds Nick Pappas for the 3rd goal of his day. And that was pretty.
Nick Betch, another player that's one of the older guys for Indy now, despite not even being here that long. A veteran that his teammates can rely on. Another guy that's going to make a play when you need it. And he sure does there.
And the irony of you talking about fundamental Frisbee and then Betch comes out of nowhere like Superman, gets that interception and finds his buddy Pappas in the end zone. So Pappas has a hat trick. It's 12-4, 9:05 left in the second quarter.
Pappas with the most goals in the game thus far with 3. And let's see this Minnesota O-line.
The wind chill. They've countered almost every single time from an AlleyCats score. Can they do it here? That's Cousins. And just on cue, Gabe Yacht gets the end zone from the assist from Cousins.
Cousins does a great job putting that pass over to the break side of the field where only his guy could get to it.
And it's 13-4, 8:37 left in the second quarter.
Throws and catches. Let's go back to that. The AlleyCats are beating themselves right now. Their offensive line needs to just hit that first open throw like Coach Shepard was telling us earlier. That's what we've really been hammering in on. Throw it to hands, throw it to their team. AlleyCats need to make some adjustments quickly.
On the pole. AlleyCats looking for 5. And 4 is a number that doesn't resonate well this evening in Indianapolis. I could expand on that, but because of my vicinity, I'm going to remain quiet.
I think you might be calling out our face of the Pacers franchise for last night.
A 4-point dynamic effort from the face of the franchise. Nonetheless, up 2-1. It'll be a heck of a game 4 at Gainbridge Fieldhouse tomorrow night. That place all clad in yellow and gold last night, and we expect that tomorrow at the Fieldhouse, 8 o'clock tip-off on TNT. But the Indianapolis AlleyCats has some business to take care of right now, down 9. And deflection, this could become a double-digit lead. In the end zone, but not going to happen. Good defensive play from Jake Wall.
The Cats needed that play from Jake Wall, saving this offensive possession, offensive opportunity, rather.
Here's Betch, who had that dynamic interception, and then the assist right after to Pappas. Gudeman.
Gudeman's been a workhorse on this possession. Here he goes again.
An opportunity into the end zone, but not enough mustard on that one. An interception from the wind chill.
Something else that's new this season is the disc. The disc actually is a bit different design than these guys have used prior. Got to throw it actually on the team's first walkthrough at this new Kuntz Stadium. Levi Jacobs and Travis Carpenter, longtime vets, were there. The three of us were throwing the disc around, and Levi put it the best, I think. He said, it feels weird. This disc is weird. The edge is a bit thicker than the one that was used last time. So for some of these guys that play college, play club, they're having to transition between two different feels on the disc. That could certainly be impacting some of the pop-up throws that we have seen thus far tonight.
So Kelsey, you've had not only just an analyst role, which you've done a marvelous job here for the UFA and WatchUFA.tv throughout the past 4 years of your career, but in your playing style, what was your preference? Who were you? Who was Kelsey Sparks on the field?
Kelsey Sparks wears a number 18 for Peyton Manning, and I like to be a handler and throw it. Though I am pretty old and out of shape now, but that was who I aspired to be.
I don't think you can really do it anybody better than the sheriff, riding off into the sunset twice, once in Indianapolis and once in Denver. One of the greatest to ever do it. And boy, has he made a mark on this city with everything he's done, the Children's Hospital, the other charities that he's been involved with. He built, they call it Lucas Oil Stadium. It is Peyton's house for those outside of Indianapolis. That man put that together. The old RCA Dome, no longer here. But
Lucas Oil, the house that Manning built.
That's true. And as we say that, Manning to Wayne in the back of the end zone, touchdown. Looked like number 33, Matthew Johnson. We'll get a confirm on that. Actually, has number 31, Raider again.
Raider definitely making his presence known, his third tonight.
You mentioned Raider putting up a team record 60 goals back in 2017. And we have our first double-digit lead of the evening, and it's still only the second quarter with 6:12 left.
Winchell putting on a clinic thus far. See if the AlleyCats can get anything cooking.
John Natali, Kelsey Sparks on a beautiful Saturday evening. Watching one that it's fun to watch, maybe not so much for the AlleyCats, but we still have a lot of Frisbee to play. Anything can happen. And as we mentioned, Coach Drew Shepard just wants to see improvement quarter to quarter. You cannot get 10 back. Kelsey mentioned it, just fundamental Frisbee, passes and catching.
These two guys have had a lot of experience throwing together, both from Center Grove, teammates there at Center Grove High School. And Robbie Davenport with the grab to save the possession for the Cats.
And here's Betch, back of the end zone. And there it is. Gudeman again. And Nick Betch just having himself a game. Only the 5 goals so far, but Nick Betch, number 2, has really done a wonderful job. Cincinnati native, the Queen City.
Excited to see that throw again, and Gudeman just wins the foot race to the back of the end zone. Perfectly placed by Betch. The AlleyCats something to build on.
And it's just a matter of can they get a defensive stop against the wind chill. The wind chill have just been very free and loose. throughout these first 16 and a half minutes. And able pretty much to score at will. A few good defensive plays from the AlleyCats, but nothing to really thwart the offensive attack of the Wind Chill. Can they do it here? Get it to within 8.
AlleyCats have yet to break the Wind Chill. And we haven't seen a ton of this Minnesota O-line yet tonight.
And into no man's land. Looking for Vinokia, but just didn't have the foot speed to get to that one.
Break opportunity now for Indy. They really need to make sure to value this possession. No breaks thus far, so they need 9 of them.
And Kelsey, I know that during the first and second quarter break, you were going to tell me what a break meant, but I just think I figured it out on that last play, so I'm learning as we go.
A break is when the team that starts the point on defense scores the point. So AlleyCats looking for their first one.
As I add to my little notebook of fun facts about the UFA.
Robbie Davenport, the Louisville native. Got to chat with his mother earlier in the stands. She made the trip up from Louisville. And his grandmother is a huge UFA fan, I hear, a huge Robbie fan, so I believe she's watching from Texas.
There's Pappas, or that's, I'm sorry, that was CJ Kennard, number 18. And just great defense from the Wind Chill. Matthew Rader, who's been doing it on the offensive side, shows his defensive skills.
Thought that one had a chance there for an AlleyCats break, but this Minnesota O-line is back in action. Huck up from Vinokia.
And in space, just wide open, just waiting. He's got 2, end zone, score. Cousins adds to his total.
Minnesota wasn't going to give Indy a second break opportunity on that point. Made sure to punch it in swiftly. And we've got a 10-point game here at Kuntz Stadium in Indianapolis.
It's back to 10. It's the largest it's been. 15-5, 3:31 left in the second quarter. John Natali, Kelsey Sparks on an absolutely gorgeous Saturday evening in the Circle City, downtown Indianapolis, Indiana. Want to thank our production crew, the ISC Sports Network, putting together all this fine footage for you on watchufa.tv. ISC, one of the crown jewels of production around this city. So I want to thank them for giving us the opportunity to call this game for you this evening.
AlleyCats had a double header today with Indy Red, the women's team in town. You see some Indy Red fans sticking around to root on the AlleyCats as well. Got some Indy Red players and coaches in that crew too. They got a decisive win earlier today. AlleyCats hoping for this comeback to follow suit.
Minnesota Wind Chill showing why they went the whole distance last year, claiming that UFA championship trophy. Have come in here in their first game of the season. On the road, always tough. Flew in last night. It just was kind of funny to me as I saw their little clown car of a van come in when I came into the stadium today. I don't know how these big players all fit in that little van, but whatever it was, whatever they did, they have come out with a vengeance and have a 10-goal advantage with 3:31 left here in the first half. On the pull.
Roller pull, looking to trap the AlleyCats on the sideline, but the Cats get it off quickly.
Dines with it. Gets it over to Wall. Now they'll play the sideline. That's Jack Kemp. Haven't mentioned Jack's name a lot so far in this one. We have number 2, Nick Betch. And couldn't complete that pass.
Just out of reach. Throws and catches. Like I was saying, John, throws and catches.
Now to the middle, just in front of the middle line. That's Max Hanscom, his UFA debut. End zone, score. The wind chill, just surgically.
We've got 10 blocks now by the wind chill as a team.
And what was pretty impressive, Kelsey, about that combination, it's Max Hanscom's UFA debut, and he gets an assist to the first person who's seen in the game, Blake Croffle, for the score, and that gets it to the largest advantage, 11.
The crowd still seems to be having a good time tonight despite the score. Crazier things have happened than a comeback, but AlleyCats definitely have a deep hold to claw out of tonight. The wind chill not really giving many opportunities for the AlleyCats to capitalize on. And let's see if the AlleyCats can get a hold here.
Just a huge difference of the space that's available between AlleyCats and the wind chill. The wind chill are really making uncontested catches and throws, whereas the AlleyCats have to dig deep and find very short open windows.
Been close to Joel Close. Somebody from the crowd screamed, "Brother to brother."
Joel Close from Plainfield. That's about 20 minutes west of Indianapolis. There's Pappas. End zone, got it. To Nicholas Loughran, the Granger, Indiana native. And the AlleyCats get one back, 16-6, minute 35 left here in the first half.
Loughran, one of the new faces around town for the AlleyCats, but making an impact already tonight.
One thing that Coach Shepard was really happy and really excited about was the locality of a lot of his players. There is a school here, Center Grove High School, which is located in Greenwood, about 15 minutes south of where we are here in downtown Indianapolis. But they have an excellent Frisbee program there. And a lot of these faces are from that area. So they've played together a lot through their years. They build continuity, they build chemistry, and they're all on this team now. And it's a growth spot, something for Drew Shepard to look forward to. Not real soon, but maybe towards the end of the season, definitely into next year.
They're continuing the legacy too. Noah Wall not playing tonight, but one of the AlleyCats is the head coach for Center Grove's program now. So giving back to the program that did so much for him and some of these other guys.
Wind chill on the attack. And deflected there, good play from Jason Kemp, one of those Greenwood natives that we just mentioned. AlleyCats looking to rally under a minute. Lots of effort there in the short pass. Stay alive for the AlleyCats. It's Davenport, closest to us.
Cats doing a good job swinging the field.
And a touchdown. Jake Blue hits the pylon, spikes it.
And Blue gets a goal in his UFA debut. This is his first game in the league. Gets the stat to celebrate for it.
That was bound to happen eventually. Jake Blue, the Cleveland, Ohio native. Taking a page from the Cavaliers playbook last night.
Don't start with that again, John. You are not in the booth for that kind of talk. Not here in Indianapolis.
Having a good time. I am in the booth with all my partners in here. Got my crew to the right of me. Kelsey Sparks. It's tough, diehard Indiana fans. But I will go back. That my favorite, outside of Randall Cunningham, I'm going way back for that. But Peyton Manning is my favorite football player, so I will give you that.
I appreciate that. I told you that I always wore number 18. Big Peyton Manning fan.
As much as I loved him as a football player, I also loved him as a marketing genius. The Sprint commercials, Papa John's, Progressive, Allstate, or whichever one it was. But on the huck, what a play. And wow. Justin Burnett has just been all over this field, and once again.
And what seemed like a possession in which the Winchell might run out of time with only 26 seconds, they get it done in 11. The monster huck there. All smiles on the Winchell sideline.
And Kelsey, in under 25 seconds of both quarters, the Winchell managed to get a score on the board, getting the lead back to double digits, 17-7, 15 seconds left in the half.
AlleyCats gonna have to draw up a play here as soon as the disc gets inbounded. Clock's gonna start on the touch, probably looking for a centering pass to one of their throwers here. Got some speed on the line to make a mad dash to the other end zone. Let's see if they can get it done.
AlleyCats with 15 seconds to work with. Can they get one back? Frank Murphy blew his whistle.
Looks like we've got a call. Not sure what it is quite yet.
We're really not sure. You can see Coach Drew Shepard on the sideline, or we can see him. Not too sure what that call was.
They might be calling a travel, John. I didn't see it.
With 5 seconds to work with. Need one here. Disc is in the air. Whatever happens here, it'll be irrelevant. Blocked away.
And that call really blew the possession for the AlleyCats. I don't think that I saw a travel there, but alas, that's the half.
At the end of 24 minutes, the Minnesota wind chill proving why they're the defending UFA champions. The Indianapolis AlleyCats, the home squad, have a lot to talk about during the half. Can they cut it? We'll have halftime to discuss it. Coach Drew Shepard will discuss it, and Coach Ben Feldman for the Minnesota Wind Chill. You're watching the Indianapolis AlleyCats playing host to the Minnesota Wind Chill on WatchUFA.tv.
We're Carp Homes. Let us take the pain out of selling your home. We pay cash for your house as is. You don't touch a thing. Leave all repairs and cleanup to us. Homegrown right here in Indy. We're local and reputable, and we care about our city and neighbors. Our team comes to meet with you in person to evaluate your property, resulting in getting you the best possible offer. Call Carp Homes today or visit our website to learn more.
Welcome to Googman House, a locally owned, award-winning, and family-friendly microbrewery and coffee house located just northwest of downtown Indy. With over 20 delicious beers brewed on site, from hazy IPAs and fruited sours to the best-selling Guggenweizen and Hefeweizen and Riverside Hazy IPA. Pick your own flight of beers, order your grub from the cabin kitchen, and enjoy a day in the beer garden. We invite you to experience Googman House. Learn more at GoogmanHouseBrewing.com and follow along on Instagram at Googman House Brewing.
15 new players on the team this year. That's shaping probably something new. Like you didn't know what to expect with this chemistry. How are you feeling about that chemistry?
As far as chemistry, when you've got this much of a group that's unfamiliar with one another, you have to lean into what I would coin artificial chemistry. So traditional chemistry is how you and I have known each other and played together for a decade. Artificial chemistry, I believe, can still be valuable, but that looks more like we are going to be fairly rigid at the beginning about our system and where we go and when I can expect you to be there, because that's going to breed confidence. If I know for sure where you're going to be, that breeds confidence in me, and that can generate what we call artificial chemistry. Hopefully what that builds is a natural chemistry, which can evolve from that. But we've got to lean into what we have right now, which is discipline and system, and hope that that kind of takes root and germinates some kind of real chemistry.
Maybe talk about natural grass over turf.
I personally love playing in natural grass over turf. When you lay out on natural grass, a lot of times you stand up feeling just fine. On turf, it feels like anytime I lay out, I'm picking up little nicky-nack injuries, whether it's a turf burn or a sprain or an ache or a bruise or something. So personally, I love natural grass, love the way it feels under the cleats. I think you can expect to see, especially at like a well-maintained field like Kuntz, you won't see any difference in performance that sometimes can be brought about by natural grass versus turf. I think that all you're gonna see is players more willing to lay out, players more willing to take chances on discs because they know there's a softer cushion when they land.
Disc in your life, like what was it attracted you to that piece of plastic?
Well, first I learned to throw at camp. I learned to throw at camp of Michigan, and then I started playing my freshman year at College of Charleston, and I think it was the people. My team name, it was the College of Charleston Bums. We're the Charleston Bums, and I just embodied that bum energy. You know, we were just goofy kids. We were just goofy kids having fun, and that really I came to a school where I didn't know a single person, found these Frisbee guys, and I was like, I think that these are gonna be my best friends. And then moved to Louisville and got involved with a club team, and I knew some of those guys played pro and didn't really know about it, and that's how I ended up meeting the AlleyCats through some Louisville folks that play, and yeah, found the team that way.
Did you know, like, man, I'm really good at this. I think I could go take the next level, and pick up this club or against pro or because whatever. You know, when did that happen for you?
Yeah, I was never great at throwing to begin with. It was weird for me. Like I said, I played baseball, so switching the arm movement instead of up high going down to the side was a little weird. But I was a pretty good athlete in high school, and I had this big dude, the Serbian guy in high school, who had played in Serbia before he came to my high school. And he picked me freshman year. He was like, oh, I like this kid because I could catch. And he knew that when it came down to it, he could just send it out there, I'll go get it. And so that's when I was like, all right, pretty good. I became captain. I was like, all right, I want to do this in college. And then in college, I was like, I could maybe play pro here. I want to try to do it. And eventually made it happen. And so here we are, 4 years later now.
What's the difference between playing indoors, outdoors, and how does that affect the team?
Yeah, obviously weather will play a big factor between when it comes to outdoors versus indoors, but I'm excited for that for us, really. I think it gives our defense opportunity, obviously, to let the conditions play and shows the skilled offensive guys to make plays despite the weather. So I'm really excited for Kuntz, really. I've heard from the guys that have played there how exciting that place is, how it's close to a lot of our fans. I'm really hoping to have a packed house and a great energy at our games.
Why did you stay with Ultimate, though? Of all the other sports to play, why Ultimate?
Well, on my freshman year coming in, I knew how to throw. So a lot of the players that were rookies didn't have the forehand throw, and I was kind of good at it. I was kind of like good at Frisbee, and I was like, I've never been good at soccer or basketball, and was okay at lacrosse, and it was the first sport where I really actually enjoyed playing it so much and kind of succeeded at it, kind of played well, actually.
Can you talk about the offensive system a little bit?
Yeah. So, this year we're going to be, I think, much more of an aggressive style offense. We're going to be willing and looking to move the disc vertically downfield more. So you should expect to see some bigger shots, and fast pace though. So we're going to be moving quickly, and I think it really plays well into the skill set of the guys that are on the team this year.
So it'll highlight what we're good at, and should make it fun for the fans too.
Wildcats. What do you want to play pro?
Yeah. In the club season, as a member of leadership, a lot of my effort and energy goes into, mentoring young guys, developing strategies for the team as a whole. So my time with the AlleyCats, I get to lock in on me a little bit more, focus on my own development as a player, and it's just fun. I mean, like, playing in front of fans is not something that you get to do in club, so getting to do that is a big part of it as well.
What's the best part of your game?
I've always been a defensive player. I think, like I said, my speed, athleticism really helped me out with that stuff, and I'd really like to bring that onto the offensive side. I think that the same reasons I'm good at defense could be helpful on the offensive side, and I'm looking forward to improve my disc skills and really bring it up to the next level, because I think I could be pretty deadly on that side too.
We're Carp Homes. Let us take the pain out of selling your home. We pay cash for your house as is. You don't touch a thing. Leave all repairs and cleanup to us. Homegrown right here in Indy. We're local and reputable, and we care about our city and neighbors. Our team comes to meet with you in person to evaluate your property, resulting in getting you the best possible offer. Call Carp Homes today or visit our website to learn more.
Welcome to Googman House, a locally owned, award-winning, and family-friendly microbrewery and coffee house located just northwest of downtown Indy. With over 20 delicious beers brewed on site, from hazy IPAs and fruited sours to the best-selling Guggenweizen and Hefeweizen and Riverside Hazy IPA. Pick your own flight of beers, order your grub from the cabin kitchen, and enjoy a day in the beer garden. We invite you to experience Googman House. Learn more at GoogmanHouseBrewing.com and follow along on Instagram at Googman House Brewing.
We're Carp Homes. Let us take the pain out of selling your home. We pay cash for your house as is. You don't touch a thing. Leave all repairs and cleanup to us. Homegrown right here in Indy. We're local and reputable, and we care about our city and neighbors. Our team comes to meet with you in person to evaluate your property, resulting in getting you the best possible offer. Call Carp Homes today or visit our website to learn more.
Welcome to Googman House, a locally owned, award-winning, and family-friendly microbrewery and coffee house located just northwest of downtown Indy. With over 20 delicious beers brewed on site, from hazy IPAs and fruited sours to the best-selling Guggenweizen and Hefeweizen and Riverside Hazy IPA. Pick your own flight of beers, order your grub from the cabin kitchen, and enjoy a day in the beer garden. We invite you to experience Googman House. Learn more at GoogmanHouseBrewing.com and follow along on Instagram at Googman House Brewing.
Back at Coon Stadium in beautiful downtown Indianapolis, Indiana, the Circle City, the epicenter of sports right now in the month of May. Indianapolis 500 to 109th running on May 25th. The Indiana Pacers in the playoffs. And Indianapolis AlleyCats trying to find anything to rally from a 10-point deficit in that first half, courtesy of the visiting Minnesota wind chill in their season opener. And Kelsey, I've asked you a couple times in the first half, and then you just kind of gave me the, I don't have a philosophical answer. It's just the fundamentals. And why don't we go, we have some highlights. It's going to be a lot of Minnesota, but you know, the AlleyCats, they showed some life. They showed something. But what did you see here that you liked?
There's Pollard, the newest addition to the wind chill. They are super excited to get him from the Philadelphia Phoenix. Yeah, thus far it has been all wind chill highlights. That's how the first half has felt. Although, since we were 4-14, the AlleyCats have kind of traded blows that last little bit there. So, AlleyCats definitely building on what was a really shaky start, John.
What has been a good combination has been the two Illinois, the land of Lincoln people, has been Nick Pappas and Seth Gudeman, who we highlighted in our opening segment. And we've repeatedly said, you know, what adjustments can Coach Drew Shepard make in the second half, and what can he make through timeouts and just trying to get back into single digits. They did it for a second. It was for a couple seconds that they did. But you had mentioned on the breaks, Kelsey, that the wind chill, they just take advantage, go the other way, and get a quick score, and they just cannot seem to get a defensive stop for the AlleyCats to stop the offensive onslaught of the wind chill.
I mean, the wind chill is a team full of veterans. There are defending UFA champions. I mean, they know how to get it done. And the AlleyCats, young team after losing so many longtime veteran players. Cameron Brock, of course, notable storyline, went to the Atlanta Hustle this year, the all-time leading scorer in UFA history. So the Cats are without him. Xavier Payne over to Chicago, big loss, and of course a lot of guys retiring. So rebuilding year for the AlleyCats, a lot of young guns on the team, looking for confidence, trying to build confidence.
You can see a picture of downtown Indianapolis right there. In the hub of that is the Lucas Oil Stadium, home of the Indianapolis Colts and many, many big-time tournaments, a Big Ten tournament. The NCAA Final Four and Championship will be here in 2026. Also Gainbridge Fieldhouse in that mix right there. Game 4 tomorrow night on TNT against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Pacers up 2-1 in that series. And of course, just down the road behind us is IMS, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the epicenter of racing. And I had mentioned it in the pregame that it's not just a race day. It is the month of May in this city. And boy, do they celebrate that to the high ends here. I was coming from Cleveland. I've been here 6 years, and I have never seen anything more impressive than the activities and just the everything that they put together for that race that'll be up on May 25th. But right now, it's the AlleyCats that need to show why they belong in Indianapolis, and they've done a good job. Owner Derek Toe has put a lot of investment, and Derek Tao may join us at some time in this broadcast, either third or fourth quarter, but he's running around like a chicken with his head cut off, and we're going to give him the headset. I will step away, which I'm sure everybody will probably be happy about. He'll talk to Kelsey because you guys know a lot more about the sport than us, but Derek may get a chance to come up here and share a few words. The owner, the CEO of this AlleyCats team, he's the one that's put everything together this evening. You can see the old Busch Stadium right there, where the Indianapolis Indians used to play until they moved to Victory Field, now made into apartments. It's actually a really cool facility that they have over there.
And we're getting close to starting the second half here. AlleyCats are coming back out from the locker room. Crowds getting hyped up. And let's see what adjustments the AlleyCats were able to make at halftime. As we talked about earlier, I'm just going to keep saying throws and catches, throws and catches. AlleyCats, I feel like we're beating themselves in the first half, mainly that first quarter. After a really, really rough first quarter where they lost 9-3. Second quarter, a little bit better, 8-4. So.
And an aesthetic thing I want to mention is that you can see the flags there. They're waving all across these stands.
but the checkered flag, in reference to the checkered flag of the racing capital of the world. They have the AlleyCats logo on them. So what I find fascinating about this city, Kelsey, is that how all the teams come together. Someone is involved with something. There's really no competition. The team plays on the same day. Okay, we're going to cheer for them no matter what.
So the camaraderie that every single sports club and franchise Indianapolis area has really come together, and I know they support their Indianapolis AlleyCats.
It's a special city for sure, John, a special region, if you will. Speaking of teams supporting each other, we do have quite a few members of Indy Red, the women's professional team in town. They had a doubleheader with the AlleyCats earlier and have been sticking around to cheer on the Cats, and here we go.
As you mentioned, the Red quite convincingly in that opening game with a victory. But we're underway on the men's side, UFA action on watchufa.tv. Great to have you along with us this evening. I'm John Natale along with the great Kelsey Sparks. We're having fun. We know the wind chill's having fun. Now we just got to wait for the AlleyCats to find their rhythm and get something going.
First offensive possession of the half, going all right so far. Doing a good job just hitting the open look. And there we go.
And the first point of the half, just 44 seconds in, goes to the AlleyCats. They make it a single-digit advantage for the wind chill, but good stuff to see.
That's what the AlleyCats needed coming off the halftime break. We talked about building confidence and about how this is a young squad, so what better way to do it than to come out with a quick score? And I liked that offensive possession, John. They didn't try to force anything, did a good job at throwing it to hands, throwing it to the first open look like Coach Shepard has been trying to hammer that point in for a while. So if more offensive possessions can look like that, AlleyCats will be in a good spot.
The goal went to Cole Heiser, another one of those Greenwood, Indiana natives from the Center Grove area. On the assist from Trey Dines from right here in the Circle City, Indianapolis. On the pole, 17-8, closing in 11 minutes in the third quarter. See if the wind chill respond here. And it's almost an effortless approach as they're already crossed midfield. And retreat a little bit. It's Paul Krennick. The story about Paul Krennick is he spent most of his time with the wind chill on the defensive side, but has since moved to offense this year. And in the back of the end zone on cue, and there's Krennick.
Great patient offense there from the wind chill. It took time to reset, swing the disc from side to side, didn't force anything until they found the wide open Krennick in the end zone.
After the quick score by the AlleyCats, wind chill on the counter, answer right back to make it a double-digit lead again, 18-8.
Trading blows a little bit more as of late after a rough start for the AlleyCats. And hey, Coach Feldman talks to us a lot about defense when we talk to him pregame. I'm sure he's happy with his team right now. Of course, in 2024, the wind chill were second in blocks and top 3 in break percentage. Really just a fantastic defensive team, and they keep getting better.
You could most definitely say that for an opening game, you have to knock the rust off. Well, I think they did that within the first 30 seconds.
Speaking of blocks, there we go. That's their 11th today. And a break chance.
Back of the end zone. Off the finger, but I believe there was a whistle from head referee Frank Murphy.
Looks like we've got a foul, and the Wind Chill are going to get to center the disc on the goal line there. AlleyCats don't like that call, but they're saying he got one of our 2 defenders there, got the hand of Bergmeyer as he was releasing the disc. So he's going to center the disc in the middle of the goal line, and the Wind Chill is going to run their end zone set, try to punch it in for the break.
That's Bergmeyer. Not always necessarily touching the disc, but always somewhere to start the offensive threat. That's Pollard now in control. Back of the end zone, 2 bodies back there, and what a grab, but out of bounds.
Heroic effort to try to toe the line there. Just couldn't get the toe down. Impressive play, though, from number 51, Blake Croffle.
Croffle was able to get the first goal, almost had an immaculate one there, trying to get the feet down in the back of the end zone. Just couldn't do it. Great effort, but unsuccessful.
All right, after a foul call, AlleyCats get to walk up the disc a little bit. Jake Wall, another Center Grove native.
Here's Betch, who had a good first half. And so did Gudeman.
We've talked about Gudeman a fair amount tonight. We mentioned he's one of our players to watch. One of the veterans now on this AlleyCats team, captain and a playmaker.
Trying to split the markers was Wall. Little floater. There's Gudeman again. Whistle from Frank Murphy. He'll take the trot forward. Does Gudeman. And the clock starts at 8:28. Left in the third.
AlleyCats not really cutting over to that open side of the field.
Just outside of the end zone. And there's a point. So that was good offense from the AlleyCats. Give the goal to Betch.
After a pretty dramatic point, turnover there, almost gave up the break. AlleyCats able to get it done.
And back to single digits. Next home. Go ahead, Kelsey. I apologize.
I was going to say, you can see the rugby goalposts in the background. I personally don't know anything about rugby, but this stadium is going to double as also a stadium for professional rugby. So we've got ultimate and rugby going on here at Coons.
There's going to be a lot of reservations done here. Renovations, I don't know, reservations. I guess you can get your tickets online, scan the QR code, and get your tickets for your reservations. But renovations to this stadium. Coons Stadium has been around a long time here in Indianapolis, has been used for many different sports. And on cue, it's back to double digits.
Raider with his fourth tonight. Wind Chill made that offensive possession look easy. AlleyCats need to put some more pressure on the cutters downfield. Minnesota just putting on a clinic right now.
Kelsey, we talked about all the things happening in Indianapolis and certain events that come from the outside in. One of those USA Rugby Championships are going to be held here at Coons Stadium.
Just another large sporting event coming to Indy. Hey, even outside of sports, Taylor Swift set her attendance record for the Eras Tour here at Lucas Oil Stadium.
I actually love that story. I was on my way to a IU Indy soccer match to call that, and it was clear. There was nothing when I got to the match, and then when I have never seen so much sparkle in a city in my life. I believe it was day 2 of her stay here in Indianapolis.
Even had some of the road signs renamed.
They closed the highway, fans. They closed a major highway in order to divert traffic for all the Swifties in town for that 3-day event. And my goodness, was it an event held at Lucas Oil Stadium. And I didn't want to take out a second mortgage to get tickets. Here's Noah Hansen.
Another break opportunity.
Oh, a lot of contact there.
Betch apologizing.
And good sportsmanship there.
Yep, good sportsmanship from Nick Betch. Calling the foul on himself.
7:07 left in the third. Went into halftime with a lead of 10. It stays at 10, alternating goals.
Looks like a little bit of a discussion going on with our referee crew there. Trying to decide where to bring in the disc. They've decided on the sideline, and the Cats will go with the double team. Here we go.
Into the end zone, deflected, but still caught by Van de Mortel. His teammates run out to congratulate him on the effort. But Van de Mortel in the back of the end zone. Now 20-9, 6:52 left in the third.
Another break there for the wind chill, despite the heroic effort from Cole Heiser.
Come on, first C, here we go.
Wind chill is going to extend that lead. Although this quarter, it's only been 3-2 wind chill, so AlleyCats definitely going blow for blow right now, despite giving up that break.
.652 left in the third. John Natali, Kelsey Sparks on watchufa.tv. Sure to tune in for all your UFA action throughout the entire season. We're in Indianapolis tonight on a gorgeous Saturday night. The Indianapolis AlleyCats playing host to the defending champion Minnesota Wind Chill.
I'm still getting used to this new offensive look from the AlleyCats after the last year doing the flow offense, kind of hex-like. We got a host stack going on here.
Kelsey, that sounded like you were talking Latin to me right there. That was a lot of verbiage in this one. But for the grab, but great defense, good effort. Looking for the foul, nothing called.
You get to see that one again. Great defensive play.
Gabe Yacht, very tall player again. University of Minnesota Gopher, able to actually call him that. There's Pollard in the end zone. What a pretty pass and score from the Wind Chill, 21-9.
And Pollard making his presence felt in his Wind Chill debut. He's feeling good in the white and light blue after spending 6 years in Philadelphia with the Phoenix. The Wind Chill are thrilled to have him for 2025 and hopefully beyond.
I wonder if there are Phoenix representatives watching this broadcast saying, oops.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Cameron Lacey shared that he felt like they were the best defensive team in the league in 2024, and he said, we just got a lot better for 2025.
We'll reiterate that Cameron Lacey, number 28, first team all defense in 2024. One of 3 members of the USA under 24 national team, William Brandt. Another one of those players. Along with Justin Burnett, who's had himself quite the game, number 5.
AlleyCats back in that host stack, so I will explain that a little bit. It's a short for horizontal stack. Got a huck.
Big huck. There it is. Cole Heiser.
Quick work there on the long huck from Gudeman. Cole Heiser really had a good night tonight.
And Kelsey, in the second half, it's been the huck that's been the most successful as far as scoring opportunities for the AlleyCats. Maybe they found the weakness in that wind chill defense.
We get to see that one again. And Heiser just wins the foot race on a wonderful put up there by Seth Gudeman. Celebrates with the spike, trying to get his guys hyped back up.
5:26 to go in the third. The lead was 10 at halftime, but the AlleyCats have exchanged blows, as you mentioned, Kelsey, in this third quarter. Lead has gone to 11, but still exchanging goals.
That was the story in Pittsburgh last week for the AlleyCats as well, John. They were broken 7 times in the first 3 quarters. Really started rough, but they won the 4th quarter.
Wind chill again. You can see their eyes immediately go downfield because they know they have the personnel to get those hucks or even mid-range passes. Just able to surgically work this field. Back of the end zone, nobody home on defense, and that was too easy. A little drop and kick celebration.
Wide open look there for the wind chill. And there's not really any wind to speak of here tonight at Kuntz. So lots of play you're able to have with the disc because the wind is not going to be that 8th defender. AlleyCats outside for the first season since, I believe, 2014, 2015. It's been a minute. Of course, playing most of their games indoors at Grand Park before this. The only team in the UFA to do so, but back outside and on grass for 2025 and beyond.
A couple of old timers on that last goal. Josh Klain to his buddy, Matthew Rader. Mentioned earlier that Klain over 100 games in his career. Rader, the leading goal scorer in wind chill history, and that was back in 17. So along with the youth that the wind chill have, the vets getting involved, make the lead 12.
Cats looking to answer on offense here.
See number 26, Jack Havey. Ponytail in the hat. He's into the contest.
Cats gonna have to rely on Havey pretty heavily this year as well as one of the veterans on the team. One of the fastest players on the team too.
Betch on the dive, couldn't grab it. And we're looking for a foul from the field judge, Justin Abbott. Nothing there. So good defense from the AlleyCats.
Great effort by Trey Dines there to get the disc back. AlleyCats with another opportunity to hold here. And a hold is when the team that starts on offense scores the point.
Betch. There's Gudeman on the handoff. Nice play. Jake Blue, Cleveland, Ohio. That was slicker than a Darius Garland drive to the hoop.
You're not in the right booth to be making these references, John. I'll say it again. Scoreboard.
Actually,
scoreboard.
that was Jake Wall. That was Jake Wall. I apologize. On the replay. So the Greenwood native, mentioned one of those Center Grove members.
On the team this year with his brother, Noah Wall. Noah's out tonight.
See those flags waving. The crowd is stand pat in supporting their AlleyCats here in Indianapolis. 3:22 left in the third. John Natale, Kelsey Sparks on watchufa.tv.
All right, wind chill on offense.
They've been very proficient in countering each of the AlleyCats goals this evening. Can they do it here? Up 11, the largest lead has been 12. They just switch fields. So many different offensive threats. And just standing in no man's land. Once again, Greg Cousins. He's had himself an evening.
Winchell have had quite a few possessions like that, just no issue finding the open player, taking the easy throws that are given to them. And I mean, that's the key oftentimes in a game like this.
Give the assist to Matthew Rader.
And how many times have we said Matthew Rader's name tonight?
Get worn out.
He's got 5 goals and a block. That's his first assist of the night.
Seems we're saying Winchell's names quite a bit this evening. Came in here to the defending UFA champions and playing like it. Playing like they used to, like, you know what? Repeat it is in their season opener. Showing no signs of jet lag, being an hour difference in the Twin Cities than it is here in East Coast time in Indianapolis. Another confusing thing about this state to me is having 2 different time zones. That threw me for a loop the first time that happened.
I'm still trying to figure out the time zones. And I thought Gudeman came away with that, but it's Pollard.
That's Pollard. Said his name a lot. The transfer from Philly.
Winchell with another break opportunity. They're up 6-4 for the quarter, and we got another one.
Give it to Christian Johnson, number 6. So everybody getting involved on this wind chill offense. Christian, known as the Swiss Army knife of this wind chill team. Does a little bit of everything, and he showed his offensive prowess right there on his first goal. Just over 2 left in the 3rd quarter, and it's a 13-point advantage for the wind chill.
A lot of ground to make up for the AlleyCats, so although we're likely not looking at a crazy comeback tonight, Coach Shepard told us earlier, he said tonight has to be about us. He knew that there was going to be so much hype going into this game, having to face the defending UFA champions, but he says tonight has to be about us. They have to look inward and use this game to propel themselves forward.
Kelsey, you've seen this team a lot through the years. You see a lot of new faces. You've seen a lot of vets and whatnot. Give me 3 players right now who are playing up to their standard after game 2. Again, the loss last week to Pittsburgh. However, that have come out here today and you say, that's the player that I want to see through the rest of the season. Give me 3.
One of them just caught it. Seth Gudeman has really been a workhorse tonight. He has multiple goals, has come up with some great defensive stops when his team needed it. I'd say Michael Ames is a great player that they have picked back up. He's really been steady in the handler space. And Nick Betch has been all over the field tonight as well. I mean, lots of Superman layouts from him. There are certainly other AlleyCats that have performed well tonight, but those are 3 that just come to the top of my head there.
Now there's a bunch to choose from. I'm going to switch brains here from you and go over to the Minnesota side. Who are 3 players that have really stood out so far for the wind chill?
I feel like we have said Matthew Rader's name 100 times. I mean, I know that's an exaggeration, but he's been all over the field. I mean, 5 goals tonight. He's really been fantastic. Pollard, we have brought him up quite a few times. Again, they are super excited to have him from Philadelphia. He's really made an impact early on. And, you know, Van de Mortel has really been all over the place as well. He has a plus-minus of 6. Called his name quite a bit, too. Honestly, lots of highlights from Minnesota. It's pretty hard to pick 3 on that side. The stat sheet is deep right now. Certainly nobody disappointing the wind chill tonight.
And that's why I only asked for 3. We only have 48 minutes to do this. So
Can we
the list is long for the wind chill this evening.
Yeah, let's just go down the roster.
But a possible score. Oh, but what a deflection. Beautiful defensive play from Matthew Johnson.
And there's Pollard, who we just mentioned, coming in. Oh, double team got a little aggressive there. Need a new disc after that. It seemed a little aggressive for no reason. Glad we're getting the foul call there.
So Pollard will start. Siggins tech away. There's a huck. It won't matter. Clock will run out. Whatever happens here, irrelevant. So they'll just tip it around. And that's the end of the third quarter. So we'll take a break. The wind chill up 13 with 12 minutes of UFA left on watchufa.tv.
What you say, cause you on a fight night. Yeah, we going quick, moving like a dynamite. I got a lot of enemies that try to take control of me. So I put it in the past so they won't notice me. Careful what you say, cause you on a fight night. Yeah, we going quick, moving like a dynamite. I got a lot of enemies that try to take control of me. So I put it in the past so they won't notice me.
And he'll go for the assist as well. Goodeman from one layout to another. Betch has a step downfield. And he'll go for the assist as well. From one layout to another, the AlleyCats find a way to get it done.
High-powered point there.
Going for Havey. Havey's able to get there. On Betch dives and he got it. Oh my goodness, Nicholas Betch.
Start of the fourth quarter we go. The Minnesota Wind Chill and their season opener have come out and put a 13th spot on the hometown Indianapolis AlleyCats. John Natale and Kelsey Sparks with you this evening. Kelsey, you know those people.
I sure do. Most of the Indy natives will. We got quite a few AlleyCat veterans in the crowd. I'm seeing Levi Jacobs, Travis Carpenter, Keenan Plew, Rick Gross, Colin Ringwood, lots of guys that have retired and left big shoes for these young guns to fill here in Indianapolis.
You think any of those guys maybe want to put on the cleats and jump out there for the final 12 minutes?
Oh, I'm sure. Those guys are as competitive as they come, and I'm sure it's killing them to be in the crowd tonight. Although I know that they're also enjoying time with their families. Most of them new fathers. Keenan has been a father for a while. So, enjoying time with their families now, but they are as competitive as it comes, so I'm sure they still want to be out there. Many of them have been on the team since, goodness, I mean, Travis started the first year of the UFA back in 2012. They actually had to change the rules to allow Travis to play because he was 18, and for some reason the rule at the time was that you had to be 19. So they got the league to change the rules so that Travis could play for the Cats. This is his first season as a retired dad on the sidelines.
Do want to mention that just what, again, going back to Derek Tao and what he's provided for this Indianapolis team. You have a mascot down there, which is really cool, AlleyCats, and one thing that's extremely impressive is their on-field MC, entertainer slash PA announcer, were able to nab Troy Pepper of your Indiana Pacers. Troy also does the Indiana Fever. He will be doing the new Noblesville Boom, formerly the Indiana Mad Ants, a G League affiliate of the Pacers. But Troy was invited out to San Francisco this year for the 2025 All-Star Game, the HBCU Classic. And he was also here for the hometown game when the All-Star Game was in Indy last season. So that is an impressive thing to have on their sideline. In their back pocket is one of the best in the business, Troy Pepper.
The AlleyCats really do a great job of putting forth a fantastic home game experience for the fans, and Troy just adds to that.
Back of the end zone, and another score. Lead now 14. Quarter of a century to 11.
Quarter of a century to 11. Haven't heard it put that way before. Rough night here for the AlleyCats, but the defending UFA champions are just picking up right where they left off after their 17-16 victory over Carolina to hoist that UFA championship trophy. They actually just got their championship rings about a month ago. Was looking at photos on social media of those. And now they have their sights set on 2025. The 2025 UFA National Championship is going to be in Madison, Wisconsin. So the road there starts tonight for the Minnesota Wind Chill. And they are off to a hot start, I got to say.
And what a place to host it. Home of the Wisconsin Badgers, Madison, Wisconsin. Also the Madison Mallards, one of the most popular collegiate teams, Northwoods League.
The Madison Radicals represent for the UFA. They have a fantastic fan base up there. Actually was watching an interview with Bevon from the Wind Chill where he referenced that, you know, Madison has always been a city where people knew the name of the Radicals. And recently he's been seeing more and more Wind Chill gear around Minnesota. And he's really enjoyed getting to talk to fans as he runs into them in the Twin Cities.
And one of the things that's trying to be established here for the AlleyCats, they have a beautiful merch tent just to the right of us. And just about everything that you can put something on, as far as swag, as the kids call it, I believe. Is that what you kids call it? Looking to my right. Call it the swag or fire, what you know, one of those. Showing my age. In the end, what a grab! Oh, I don't know about that. That was Trey Dines. And channeled his inner Tyrese Halliburton right there.
Heck of a grab here. I'm excited we get to see it again. Up and over.
Yep. Well,
probably not the time to taunt when down.
Oh, down 13.
Down by so many, but hey, I mean, Trey's had a decent game tonight, or good game. Trey has. Trey's done well. And it looks like we've got a call.
Frank Murphy talking to head coach Ben Feldman. Ben also in charge of the defense for the Wind Chill. Something to mention about the Wind Chill, and you just mentioned community, Kelsey, is that beginning the Wind Chill Foundation, in which they offer clinics and grants and funding to middle schools for Frisbee, which is an amazing effort, looking to become a 501c in the near future, but a great program for them.
I love seeing these teams give back to their community and try to invest in the next generation of Ultimate players. We're blessed with some good programs around the Indy area. We've mentioned Center Grove quite a bit tonight. Excited to hear that that's going on in the Twin Cities as well.
And you come to the again, back to the Indianapolis side, is that the IHSAA, the Indiana High School Athletic Association, just designated flag football as a sport. That will be happening soon within our high school realm, so that's very exciting, both boys and girls. That was a big announcement.
And a big huck goes up now. Can Kemp get it?
Good defense.
Nice play by Jason Kemp to rob Minnesota of that goal.
Another one of those Greenwood, Indiana kids. Center Grove High School.
CJ Kanara, rookie season in the UFA, dishes it back to Ames. Let's see if the AlleyCats can get an offensive flow going here.
AlleyCats moving it nicely. 9:06 left in the fourth quarter, down 13.
Cats in the red zone.
Back in the end zone, but out of bounds. As Matthew Gregerson was right on top of that one, our side referee.
AlleyCats red zone conversion percentage sitting just under 60% for the evening. Wind chill at 88%. And they will get another opportunity to add one more to the score here. And we got a big huck going up. Brant is all alone in the end zone, and the wind chill go up 26-12.
William Brant, third member of that U24 USA team. The lead is 14, 8:16 left in the fourth.
Get another look at that here. Wind chill just putting on a clinic here tonight in Indianapolis. So we'll get to see another AlleyCats O-line come out, and they are looking gassed. Cats have had to play a lot of offensive points tonight.
It's a great point, Kelsey. A lot of hands on knees, hands on hips, and they just haven't been able to keep up with the speed and the conditioning. I think that's something to be noted for the Wind Chills coming into their season opener, how conditioned they are to keep these long hucks and scoring on long throws, and just the contentious defense that they've played throughout the entire four quarters has been impressive.
This is a team that knows how to be great. I mean, they have the hardware to prove it, and they haven't missed a beat. Starting strong in 2025. AlleyCats out of bounds. So the Wind Chill gets a break chance in the red zone. Not far to go. And there it is. Tristan Van de Mortel with another one.
Team captain staying involved late in this one. 7:51 left to go. The lead is 15, 27-12. The Vikings have put up 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals, holding the Colts to a touchdown, a safety, and a field goal.
You know, the Wind Chill have been doing some halftime exhibitions at Vikings games, exposing the NFL world to professional ultimate Frisbee.
What a stadium they have. The US Bank Stadium is just one of the pillars of where the NFL has gone and what they do. Jerry's World down in Dallas was the first one, but has since been overtaken.
I haven't checked that one off my list yet. Looking to get to all of the NFL stadiums. I'll get there eventually.
Have you been to Cleveland yet?
I have not.
Okay, I wonder why.
Big Cleveland guy, John. Big Cleveland
Well,
guy.
if you want to get to all of them, there are 32, and it is on the list.
Let's see if the AlleyCats O-line can get something going.
7:43.
Going back to what Coach Shepard told us at the beginning of the game, I'm going to bring this up probably a few more times tonight, but, you know, he said that they have to make tonight about them. AlleyCats Jack Havey with the score.
You'd mentioned it, Kelsey, that Jack Havey, the veteran, going to see a lot of playing time this year and shows why right there. Puts a 13th point on the board for the AlleyCats, 27-13, 7:29 left in the game.
Havey's a really quick player. He's easy to lose track of. And I mean, he just wins the foot race there. Going back to what I was saying before that went up, Coach Shepard told us that tonight has to be about us. Has to be about AlleyCats Ultimate and making strides where they can. Obviously, pretty lopsided game tonight, but great opportunity to get in reps against the defending UFA champions. AlleyCats have definitely been playing better as the night has gone along, so more reps to be had, 7.5 minutes. And if you want to compete in the UFA, you got to beat the best.
And the best is on the field tonight, the Minnesota Wind Chill. And they have shown why through 41 minutes so far with 7 to go. And a turnover there. AlleyCats going to work quick.
Rare break chance given up by the Wind Chill. See if the Cats can capitalize.
So Lochran looking for help. Leery of that 7-second call. Able to get to Kaiden Young. On the hammer. There it is. There's Tanner Graham, number 28. Makes his presence known tonight.
You know, it looks like a hammer from up here, our vantage point, but watching that replay, looks like we got a bladey flick there. He just placed it perfectly for Tanner Graham.
Tanner Graham, another one from Peoria, Illinois, along with Seth Gudeman.
Gudeman moved here about 3 years ago now. I remember the tournament he showed up to. It was a winter tournament that the AlleyCats were putting on, his first one in town. And at the end of that tournament, all the AlleyCats channels were buzzing. They said, who has Seth's number? We need Seth Gudeman's number. We need him in AlleyCats green. Obviously, that went their way, as he is a huge veteran presence now.
Just out of the reach of a diving Burnett. Here come the AlleyCats. Mention all of these Illinois natives, a Chicago Union, and a former Hoosier / Land of Lincoln, Tim Sinclair, who is the PA announcer. We talked about Troy Pepper here for the AlleyCats. A Union have just picked up Tim Sinclair, who is the PA announcer for the Bulls, the Bears, the Chicago Fire, the MLS team. And back of the end zone, AlleyCats. Another one with 5:42 left.
Robbie Davenport finding Kaiden Young. Wide open. Nice throw there.
That's pretty impressive. The two highest numbers on the team, 90 to 85. I was mentioning Tim Sinclair. They gave him the call. He was excited about it. So another UFA team getting a professional PA announcer / MC in Tim Sinclair. Tim Sinclair spent 2 years here for your Indiana Pacers.
Cats fans doing a good job keeping the energy high despite the score tonight. Still a great game day experience here at Kuntz Stadium in Indianapolis.
27-15, 5:42 left on the clock. John Natale, Kelsey Sparks, the Bloomington native. Can't get any more Hoosier than that, Kelsey. whole state waiting for the basketball team to come through. I know that at Indiana University.
And if I'm the wind chill,
you score for your 28th
so.
point.
I was going to say I would stall with the disc, but hey, scoring works too.
Josh Klain, he's had a lot of assists, and he gets a goal there. The wily vet, 100-plus games from number 29, adds to the total. Lead back to 13. It's got as high as 14. 5:26 left in the fourth quarter.
I was going to say, if I were the wind chill, I would play just some possession ultimate. Try to run out some time on this clock.
Well,
Pack
on that
up.
possession, I don't think they were listening to
weren't.
us in the booth up here.
That's probably a good thing. They
Quick
shouldn't listen to me
score.
most of the time.
No, it's Kelsey is one of the best. The whole league knows it. UFA knows it. The relationships that she has with every team is something that helps this sports grow. To have a familiar face, someone who does it well, and Kelsey Sparks, one of the best in the business, been doing it 4 years, and every year she gets better. It's been a pleasure to be with her this evening.
Well, you're too kind. It's been a pleasure to be with you as well for your first professional ultimate game.
I'm going to have to do a couple more of these.
I think so.
Yeah, let's
Are
see.
you hooked now?
Well, we'll see what John Herrick's up to. The man is a pro. John Herrick, usually voiced for the Indianapolis AlleyCats and does a lot of the games here, but John is an extremely busy asset in the media here in Indianapolis, one of the best to do it all across the boards. And Betch continues to impress.
Fantastic grab to keep the drive alive for the Cats. I thought that one was going to end as a turnover, but Cats still working.
Betch has done his best Superman impression several times in this one. New Superman movie coming out this summer. I know a lot of fans are excited about that. And where was it filmed? I'll stay quiet.
I think I know the answer because of our
but
conversation.
It had nothing to do because there we go again. People diving all over the field. I was going to make a Superman reference. It just fell into place. So blame that on the AlleyCats and Nick Betch.
I mean, we had like 3 goals in
And as the wind chill come back, and Burnett, easy score, 29-15. The lead is 14, under 4, left in the fourth.
Burnett with his 3rd goal. He's also got 3 blocks and an assist. He's having a night tonight. AlleyCats have not found an answer for him. He made that one look easy.
As we hold the Detroit Mechanics, first 250 fans will receive a free checkered flag.
Next home game against the Detroit Mechanics for the AlleyCats here at Coon Stadium. You can see the mascot there, still having a good time. The weather has cooperated tonight. It's been a beautiful evening in downtown Indianapolis. Well, the gentleman in front of him with a nice ensemble.
Kind of matches Frisbee, the mascot of the AlleyCats.
Very cool atmosphere. The fans have stuck around. As we're under 4 left in the fourth quarter.
AlleyCats back into that horizontal stack.
Good offense here. Here's Pappas. In the end zone. Drifting away. Backside. What a grab. Score it. Beautiful catch from Jason Kemp. Give Center Grove another one.
Right in between those rugby goalposts, too. Jason Kemp going up and getting it.
Pappas on the beautiful send-in.
Pappas from the Chicago Union. The AlleyCats are excited to have him. I was going to say, I was worried about Jason there for a second running into that post. Glad he grabbed it and was all right.
Keep going back to that Center Grove. 2 athletes that have come out of Center Grove just recently. Trace Davis-Jackson of the Golden State Warriors, Indiana high school great. And then Carson Steele, a running back for Center Grove, went to Ball State, then transferred to UCLA, and was one game away from winning a Super Bowl as the Eagles defeated the Kansas City Chiefs this season. Congratulations to the Eagles. Winchell go back to work, up 13 after the pretty send-in and goal.
Winchell have been super efficient tonight as well, attempting only 211 passes in comparison to the AlleyCats attempting 350 passes. So Winchell really taking yards where they can, being super efficient with their offense. Scoreboard reflects it.
I'm going to steal one from ESPN great analyst Mark Davis, and that's a 30-piece from Brian Vinotka, the captain. Couldn't have timed that any better. So 30-16, 2:47 left in the fourth.
Years ago in Indianapolis, the team was sponsored by a well-known pizza place, and if the team scored 30 points, everybody got free crazy bread. So there were always chants when we got close to 30, crazy bread, crazy bread.
I love how you put that, Kelsey. A well-known pizza franchise, and they gave out crazy bread.
I mean,
now who on earth could that be?
I don't think they're sponsoring this year, so we'll leave it up to guessing. But
official pizza sponsor of the NFL. Of who she's speaking of, if you don't know, if you couldn't put two and two together.
Nobody chanting crazy bread here tonight, though, with the Cats being on the losing end of this one.
On the pole. I guess the goal right now, Kelsey, is, I mean, do you have a goal number that you try to get as the AlleyCats with only 2:30 left? Is it, if you get two more, do you really try to hustle to try to hit 20? And what's the goal here?
I don't think there's a numerical goal for the AlleyCats. I think it's just about playing their game. I think it is about establishing confidence moving forward. Nobody's under the impression that a comeback's happening in the last 2 minutes, obviously. I think they need to, do throws and catches, like I said earlier. Establish confidence heading into week 3.
You talk about comebacks. I don't think Reggie Miller will be walking through the doors here anytime soon. 8 points in 8 seconds, dating way back to that magical game against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Reggie Miller, a legend here in Indianapolis. Those late 90s, early 2000 Pacers teams getting to the NBA Finals, ultimately falling to the Lakers.
Looks like we've got a call here.
Lots of people going on the field. The entire wind chill is on the field. Now we have a timeout. That is why, with 1:34 left in the fourth. 30-16 the score. The wind chill up 14. Their season opener, game number 2, the home opener for the Indianapolis AlleyCats. This UFA matchup on a beautiful Saturday evening in Indianapolis, Indiana. John Natale, Kelsey Sparks.
And the Cats' first game at Kuntz Stadium, their new outdoor venue after spending so many years indoors.
You'd mentioned Grand Park, a wonderful facility up in Westfield, Indiana, about 30 minutes north of the city. And Grand Park, home of the Indy 11's women's professional soccer team, who won a championship for the 11 back in 2023. The Indy 11 don't play, the men's squad in the USL Championship don't play too far from here. I moonlight as the 11's PA announcer. It's always a fun time. The Brickyard Battalion, another one of the fun things to do here in Indianapolis. Also a new IFL team up in Fishers, the Fishers Freight. End zone, couldn't grab it.
Looks like we had a call before it went up, though. calling travel.
Frank Murphy blew the whistle, much to the dismay of head coach Drew Shepard.
Seth Gudeman getting into it with him now too.
Gudeman not happy with the call.
We've had a couple travel calls tonight that the AlleyCats disagreed with.
And that awkward moment at the end of the first half seemed to be a travel. No one could figure it out, and we redid the throw. Dines. And Betch once again on the ground. That one was a lot of contact, lost his helmet.
Now, on the field. Holding his up.
They'll restart.
Foul call there as he got clipped in the dive. Sorry, John.
Oh, no need to apologize to me. I didn't even know what I was going to talk about. That's Benjamin Close, another Indianapolis native. One thing that Coach Drew Shepard was very high on, just the local aspect of his club. Building that continuity. And there's Burnett, which we mentioned that a lot.
Burnett all over the field in his debut for the Wind Chill.
Just short of the goal line. And foul is called from field referee Justin Abbott.
Wind Chill's already centered on the goal line, so nowhere to go in terms of penalty yardage.
Well, I mentioned Reggie Miller, and I think that's the number they're shooting for. And there it is.
And they got it.
So the Wind Chill put up a Reggie in this one with 42 seconds to go.
Our next home game is Saturday, May 25th at 6, right here, same spot.
And all of that set up by the defensive play from Justin Burnett. Again, in his Wind Chill debut, he spent 3 years in Atlanta with the Hustle, and he's another pickup that the Wind Chill are super excited to bring to Minnesota for this year.
.42 seconds left. Minnesota Wind Chill, the defending UFA champions, have come into Indianapolis and showed why they're the defending champions. The AlleyCats have put up 16, but there's going to be some defensive work needed from head coach Drew Shepard and Nate Busberg. They'll play the Detroit Mechanics for their next home game. Go to the AlleyCats website. Season tickets now available. Young lets that go into the back of the end zone.
Great pull from Minnesota, really pinned the AlleyCats on the back line, and now we might be in Callahan territory. Hey, get out of it.
Under 30. Working on the far side. And a score. Beautiful play. That looks like Robbie Davenport. Or was that Kyden? That was Kyden Young. So that's his second score of this fourth quarter. (31-17), 19 ticks left.
Let's see if the Wind Chill tries to put another one on the board and get to 32, or if they just possess, only need a few throws to put the final nail in the coffin for this one.
Kelsey, you mentioned the term bookend at the beginning of this one, and that's really what it's been for the Wind Chill since the opening whistle. It's been a bookend, never trailing in this one, jumped out to a 5-0 advantage. AlleyCats kept trying to creep back in it, just couldn't sustain any stops. For every goal they got, the Wind Chill would answer.
Never really a doubt in this one that the defending UFA champions were going to walk away with the win tonight. It'll be official in 6 seconds.
Let's see if they go for it. They do. In the end zone. And my goodness. James Pollard, the transfer from Philly, looked more like Joel Embiid going up for a rebound on that one.
Pollard ends the game with some decisiveness and caps off his wind chill debut with another one. Wind chill going back home to the Twin Cities. Happy tonight, John.
That's going to be a pleasant ride home on the flight. I don't know about getting back into that little bus that I saw, but nonetheless, the wind chill came into Indianapolis and almost doubled up the AlleyCats. 32-17, the final from Coons Stadium in downtown Indianapolis, Indiana. Thanks for joining us so much tonight for this UFA contest on watchufa.tv. Kelsey, just your thoughts. Let's start with the chill. Defending champs came in here, season opener. Didn't show any signs of rust, any signs of fatigue. Their conditioning was immense throughout the entire 48 minutes. What'd you think?
I mean, potentially the best defensive team in 2024. Got better for 2025. We talked about the additions. They picked up James Pollard, Justin Burnett. I mean, no signs of slowing down for the wind chill. Such a decisive win. And the road to championship weekend, the road to Madison, Wisconsin, started tonight for the wind chill. They're off to the races.
Let's go to the other side. Indianapolis AlleyCats came out of the gate a little slow. Not intimidated by the wind chill, but just not up to that par. We mentioned a lot of youth, a lot of inexperience on this AlleyCat team. I know you took some positives away from that. What can the AlleyCats look forward to for their next one?
You know, going back to Coach Drew Shepard's quote earlier, who said tonight has to be about us. I think the AlleyCats learned what some of their competition in the UFA is going to be like. It's a rebuilding season for the AlleyCats after the departure of so many big names here in town. So AlleyCats just need to find their identity on offense. Catches and throws, don't beat themselves. I think that as the game went on, the AlleyCats certainly closed the gap. There's something to build on here in Indianapolis.
From a broadcast partner, Kelsey Sparks, I'm John Natali, and on behalf of our entire ISC Sports Network crew, we want to thank you for joining us on this Saturday night, downtown Indianapolis, Indiana. Your final from Coons Stadium is the Minnesota Wind Chill 32, the Indianapolis AlleyCats 17. Be sure to tune in to watchufa.tv for all UFA action all season long. Have a great evening, everybody.